Alright guys, so the pros and cons of English ivy. One good thing about English ivy is it doesn't require maintenance as far as fertilizing. It can pretty much take off by itself, so you don't have to look over it much. As far as a ground cover, it's excellent. It will take over an area. One great thing that I personally like about English ivy is that wherever it grows, you are likely not to see any weeds. So it will help prevent weeds in any certain area. But you also can't plant much next to it because it'll snuff out just about any plant that you put near it. One great alternative to English ivy would be this. I'm not sure if it's spruce, some type of spruce or cypress. I'll do some more research on that. I'll try to put it in the description below if I can figure out exactly what it is. But this is an excellent ground cover, and the good thing about this is it does not grow vertically. English ivy will take over anything that you put next to it, including a home, the ground, other plants. So you know, it is a great addition. But a lot of landscape guys, like I always say before, is you research the plants that you're putting in place. That will be the difference of countless hours of maintenance or no hours of maintenance. You know, make sure you're choosing the right plants. There's such a large variety out there, and it just depends on what you're looking for. Another pro about English ivy is that it will stay green year-round. So it gives you a year-long color. You don't have to wait for a bloom or anything like that. So as far as that goes, it's good. Another alternative to English ivy would be creeping phlox. Is just one, and it's not nearly as invasive, but it is a great ground cover. There's a lot of plants that offer the same things as ivy without the invasiveness. Alright guys, here's a good example of the invasiveness of English ivy. You can see here where it has come up under and grown under the trim. So it's pulled the trim away from the wall, which has made even this buckle, and some in the long run could have contributed to all of this rot that's back here behind this wood, just moving and putting stress on these boards that may have otherwise not been. I mean, you know, you can't say for sure, but it's definitely not gonna help once it starts getting back behind this trim. So it is a great plant. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you not to get it. I'm just saying be careful where you put it. If you're putting it next to your home, just don't ever let it get this far. This can happen fairly quickly. English ivy goes through two stages, which is a juvenile stage, and then an adult stage is where most of the growth goes into play. So in other words, it starts slow, and then once it reaches its maturity, takes off and will grow like crazy. Sun or in the shade, it will grow either way. Also guys, here is one of the pros of English ivy. You don't see much as far as weeds in here. There are a few. Here's one here, little tree back there. You see them scattered here and there, but they don't stand out near as much. You can see where it has taken over this area. So there's very little maintenance in here except for the English ivy, but as far as having to get down on your hands and knees and pull weeds, that should not be a necessity here. There are a few other plants that can offer similar properties as English ivy, but they probably will not cover as much of an area, or maybe you'll just have to plant more of it. I'm sure if you guys research, there should be a way to keep this ivy contained. You may be possibly able to plant its root ball in a certain location. There may be ways to slow down the growth of English ivy, and that may be something that you want to research if you guys are looking into getting some. You may just be able to take its root ball and plant it in kind of a pot and into the ground. Don't Don't quote me on that. I know that you can do that with certain plants. You'll just take a pot, dig a hole in the ground, and actually plant the plant within its own pot, and that will contain the root ball. So it does not overgrow an area that you don't want to overgrow. I'm not sure if that contains the English ivy or not, but it is something that you guys can check out.